Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat.
Pew, pew, pew. We finally got the gang back.
The gang is back in town.
I had my co-host Eric Deluxe this week.
How'd he
holding
do?
us down.
How'd he do as a stand-in?
I mean, you know, he doesn't read good, but
I don't read good.
or read at all.
So. I love that you admitted on a podcast you can't read well. I love Eric. Oh my god!
But it was good. It was good. He did a great job, and so thanks, Eric.
Okay, good stuff. Well, we got a lot to talk about to close out the week. Lots of stuff going on in tech, in business, airlines. Little Bitcoin hack that went down. Actually, not little at all. Massive. Yeah. We have a little bit of follow-up from Will Smith and Chris Rock. We'll go a little easy. I know that's what everyone in the world's talking about. Gas prices and a big move from Caitlyn Jenner. Big new media spot we should talk about.
Big. Speaking of that, I don't know if you
Huge.
saw this post that's going around. I just saw it actually right before we started. It showed 14 different news outlets and their headlines for the Will Smith and Chris Rock, from Fox News to the Daily Beast to CNN.
I'd love to see that.
Wild. I don't even want to repeat how some of them.
Yeah, especially Daily Beast. I don't want to know what they said. I don't want to know their headline.
I mean, just like people's perspective of a situation, depending on your little niche following, is insane.
Yeah. That's what's wild that I've learned about the internet with this situation in particular, because I looked at it as pretty cut and dry, not good. And there's a large contingent that felt really great about it. So it depends on your background, depends on your experience. But damn it, there's a whole wide range. The day of the thought of one day us all agreeing on something is out the window.
No, because I was thinking it would be in defense of Ukraine, but that's not. Not even aligned.
I mean, 9/11 happens today. Don't you think that there's a group, a decent sized group in America that has a different take?
Yeah, that they're like, when you oppress countries long enough, this is what you expect. Something like that.
Yeah, there would not be a consensus. There's not people driving around honking their horns with American flags.
Yeah.
It's over.
That's wild. That's so
okay.
wild.
Well, listen, the best opinion is ours. So let's get started.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Everybody, welcome back to the only opinion that matters, the Group Chat opinion. In a world where everyone, no one can agree, at least we're here to give us and all of our people something to agree on.
Yeah.
And that's whatever ridiculous take we have each week.
I like it.
So I think we're doing a service. It's too hard. Like something like the Will Smith situation goes down, Ukraine, all these different things. You hop on the internet, no one agrees on anything. But here in the Group Chat family, we always do.
I like it. I like that.
Yeah, we have to be activists on every single topic.
Every topic, and whatever we say is correct.
Yep.
This may sound a little culty. Ignore that part. You guys want to talk about some news?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into first. Did Facebook? So there's this article here. We were talking a lot about when TikTok was really starting to gain traction, and we were talking about how, they were talking about during the Trump administration, they almost had it removed, and we were kind of saying like, I'm sure Facebook is behind some of that, or they should be if they're not, or why isn't Facebook going to the government and making a case for why TikTok is so bad, being that it's a huge threat to Facebook. It turns out Facebook was doing moves in the background to try to get TikTok, shown in bad light, let's say.
Yeah. This is what happens. I don't know why everyone's surprised. Like, this is normal.
It's funny because the Washington Post posts the article like it's a takedown, like a hit piece. This is exactly what you're supposed to do if you're Facebook.
Yeah.
What they're doing is they hired a firm and they want to make it political because targeted victory, this firm, is a Republican consulting firm. So there's your first hit piece, like, ooh, bad, Republican, right?
Yeah.
In the Washington Post. Then what they did is brilliant. They had op-ed pieces in local newspapers about how bad TikTok is.
Dances to danger.
I love it. This is genius. Zuck, thank you. He's doing the government's work for them.
And
I'm glad to hear he was trying. You're right. I'm glad because we were kind of sitting here like, what are they doing? Like, why aren't they getting this removed?
And frankly, they didn't go far enough, because the real angle to get American adults on the same grounds is going to be about that it is a Chinese company holding American data, having influence over American youth, which if people understood that, like, that's where if I was Facebook, that's where I would be spending my time, really focusing on that narrative, because that honestly, to me, all the other shit I don't give a shit about, but like the fact that it is a Chinese company who is a nemesis of United States, they are not in the best interest of our country. So if you think about it from a national security standpoint, like, we need to protect our data, our youth, our everything. Yeah. Why wouldn't we do anything in our power to do that?
Would you say TikTok today could make any song a top 10 hit?
Sure.
Pretty close.
Right?
I mean, some of those songs that are popular are terrible.
And some of those songs are, pretty graphic. You could you could really change America's youth if you.
America's youth was already talking about that stuff.
We've been fucked for a long time.
I don't think that.
Yeah, but the point is.
Yes, the point is the influence is scary.
The influence is scary. Any song, any dance, any conspiracy theory. It's YouTube on steroids in terms of algorithm, I think.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to like the age-old goal of like Russia and China to just have chaos and mistrust in this country, that's very easy on TikTok.
Right, exactly. And it's even more dangerous because you're controlling young people who dominate the app. So these young people...
Keep going.
No, it's saying these young people are going to have all these crazy opinions on all these like topics, and they're completely misinformed.
And what I was going to say to your point is like, remember when we saw all the like there's some crazy stat that I don't remember that like a incredibly large portion of the top Christian pages are owned by like Russian like troll farms. Wow. The largest pages on Facebook. Remember when we were seeing all this stuff during the Trump administration of, Black Lives Matter type pages and posts that were actually foreign governments. Like, you can do that so efficiently on TikTok. Yeah. It's like a whole new tool that's so fucking addicting. And if it comes to like wanting to have outrage, you can crush it on there.
And do you think the Chinese government and Chinese espionage and military isn't taking advantage of this? You'd have to be completely naive to think that.
Yeah, that's probably all they're doing.
What's interesting is when the article came out and it was posted, I was just reading the comments, and everyone was just piling on Facebook. TikTok can do no wrong in America's youth's eyes.
So if you think about what foreign espionage has infiltrated all of big tech, that's like everyone has accepted that as senior employees, in fact, at some of all the big tech firms. So, for example, at Twitter, this was probably like 4 years ago, they found out that there was Saudi nationals at Twitter's corporate headquarters basically flagging any Saudis around the world that were denouncing Saudi government or at the time, I don't know who the crown prince was, and having them arrested. How much easier is it to do on TikTok? Yeah. You don't even need an employee to go to Twitter if you're the Saudi government. Yeah. If you're the Chinese government, you say, we already know everything.
Oh my gosh. That's wild to think about it that way. Yeah. Like it goes from like one employee who's a mole to like the whole company is in plain sight.
Yeah. It's like who do you want?
That's also, I think, the risk of all of this like hit piece, like bullshit journalism is it's really easy to just angle a story a certain way and people jump on that way. And the journalist or the reader doesn't have to take a second and take a step back and be like, okay, what is the real story here? Like, is this really an issue, or is that a much bigger issue? Because it's just a like hit piece, and it's just, yay, let's rally around something, and no one's even looking at the bigger picture. Like now you're defending, like, don't pick on TikTok. What? This is crazy town.
And it's happening in plain sight, like you said. It's so obvious. Maybe that's why you get away with it, when you're so obviously taking advantage.
Well, because if you think about it from, because we're all watching Super Pumped, if Uber was, using microphones and cameras to spy on their, what do you think this company is doing?
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine?
President Xi's like, no, I draw the line. We're going to secure Americans' TikTok data.
Yeah.
That's where we draw the line. I mean, we're so naive.
It's wild. But let me ask you a question. Do you guys know, or do you have an opinion on, like, the same way that Apple was able to block certain things on Uber, or call them in and say, we're going to drop you from the App Store, wouldn't they technically catch that in TikTok's code also and just drop them if it was too bad? Or no?
I think it's
too big.
Apple depends on China.
Yeah, they depend on China, and TikTok is just too big of an app.
Yeah,
it's too big.
So Xi probably just gives a call and says, hey, don't worry about that, checking that code.
Do you think Xi's just looking at, the top creators? He goes, I like Bryce Hall this week. Let's get him more views.
Yeah. That's what Xi's doing.
He's like, I really like those poofy haircuts.
Imagine
everyone
like
in America
Xi
has a poofy haircut.
Everyone.
He's like a mood board.
Think about it. You can dictate how the American kids look.
I mean,
you could.
I don't really see like, high school kids, because we're always like, I don't know, working during those hours. But the other day I was driving down on Saturday or Sunday during like peak kid hours.
Poofy hair everywhere.
I mean, it's like the 5-inch inseam shorts, the big oversized tee, white guy with poofy hair, maybe an earring. I mean, it's like, it is carbon fucking
And everyone's
copy.
wearing that damn Aloe trucker hat because they placed it on all those TikTok kids.
Yeah.
You want to know a big place where we were wrong, or at least I remember vividly is when we were talking about early in TikTok days, are Bryce Hall and Taylor Holder and them like tastemakers for young men, or are they just like attractive to girls? And I thought, no, young men are still going to follow like Travis Scott and they're not going to actually follow. That's just a look that appeals to girls. And I could not have been more wrong, because every young man I see without fail
looks exactly the same.
Taylor Holder. 2 years ago.
What do they go to? Do they go to Supercuts and say, give me the talk?
I will say there's one benefit, because all these TikTok kids are in good shape. They all have 6-packs. So maybe it encouraged health.
Yeah, it is. That's true.
But also the bag, you can hide it under the baggy shirt. You can get most of the way there with an earring, a baggy shirt, and a poof.
You're like, I'm not doing abs.
The ab part, and they're like, I get the message. if Supercuts has half a brain, maybe you can. You would walk in there today, and there is a look on the wall that is the Taylor Holder.
Yeah.
In all
so
seriousness,
basically,
that has to be an option.
I mean, I would sell.
I have straight hair. I can't physically possibly.
There's a way.
You get a perm.
Yeah, get a perm. Yeah, exactly.
I bet you kids are getting perms. 0%
100%.
question about that.
If I was Supercuts, I would be like, it's $100. Okay, we'll give you the haircut. We'll give you the T-shirt and the shorts.
It's called the talk of the town, and you get.
I mean, Supercut should really have one of these kids as brand ambassadors, right?
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Talk of the town.
Absolutely, and they should give you can get the perm if you need it. You can get the waves. You can get maybe a light highlight, short on the sides.
I mean,
pin an earring to you on the way out.
Yeah, you don't have to get yours pierced. You get a clip.
Yeah, because you got to imagine like someone like Justin Bieber. He dresses like a rock star. It's not even an attainable look.
Yeah,
these kids is attainable.
Yeah, it's just a poof and a big shirt.
Yeah. Plus, I think Bieber didn't. He didn't evolve. Like it's an old look, Like it's like. And you're right. He did go a little like obscure rock star.
He's got that little jacket he keeps wearing at every show.
Yeah. Man, I was so wrong. TikTok, that look is the look.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, more on Apple. Apple, what's going on? So Apple is sort of announcing, it seems like Apple's announcing a lot lately, but they're talking about their plans for how they're going to enter financial services and do more stuff in that world. And that's affecting fintech stocks. Am I reading that right? Just them
Yeah.
saying that they're going to be involved?
Well, I think what they want to get into is like payment processing.
Yeah.
And it's unclear how they're doing it, but like there's no reason why the Square tablet sitting at a coffee shop is not an Apple tablet.
Yeah, or it's not just, they just sell the little, the
Yeah,
Square
the dongle.
dongle. You just plug that thing. All anyone's doing is plugging that into an iPad anyway.
Exactly. And I think if it's all the same, you'd rather have the Apple logo than a block logo.
Do you think Steve Jobs thought about this when he launched the App Store? Because it's obvious now that they basically can offer every service because they own the phone. So they own all of our phones, right? Yep. And we all use Apple phones. So if they want to basically make a Square competitor, Square has no like, it's impossible to prevent because they already have us on the phone. Yeah. So if they want to make a Square competitor, it's same with like Facebook. Facebook relied on the tracking data, and Apple said bye-bye.
Yeah.
You want to know a funny story is Steve Jobs was anti-App Store. Somebody convinced Steve Jobs to have an App Store because he wanted it all closed from day one.
Yeah, that was the big thing when Steve Jobs passed, that Apple got some freedom to like making it a little bit more symbiotic to other products. And
yeah, I think that was actually like has proven to be a flaw of maybe Steve Jobs' vision is he didn't quite see enough how integrating all these things would be beneficial. And you could still keep it like a closed loop, right? Like they still do a good job and not like their operating system isn't out there and whatever. But yeah, I think to be honest, he kept it a little too tight. And now they're able to do this, open it up and like take over. You're right. I mean, they could, any company that's an app on their phone, which is every service that exists, they could own tomorrow if they choose that it's worth doing.
And I think that if I'm the government, they basically already own the cash register, which is an iPad.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, no, you can't be the processor also.
Yeah.
I would say no. I think you just can't let them become the payment processor. I think it's too big. 2% on like trillions of dollars is just too much money.
They're low-key the biggest monopoly of any big tech company.
Yeah,
they should have gave on the App Store thing, man. I think what's going to come back historically to bite them is that they didn't give enough on the App Store fee,
and they should make it fucking free.
And they're going to get dinged on the payment processor because they didn't open up on that, and so now it's going to be like the next one you're a monopoly, and that's going to be the big one.
Yeah, they're getting a little greedy.
And while we're on like Steve Jobs, super pumped because I feel like a lot of our listeners are watching it.
Yep.
And the conflict between a board and a CEO. So my friend told me two funny stories that are all like very public. One is Steve Jobs, and I think the board member was Larry Ellison. They asked him like, who's your favorite board member? He's like, Larry Ellison, because he never shows up.
I like that. That's great.
Larry Ellison's in the Theranos
and then
movie.
The second good one is Frank Slootman, who's the CEO of Snowflake.
Mm-hmm.
Love Snowflake.
Everyone loves Snowflake.
Yep.
And Sequoia is one of their big investors. And Doug Leone, who's like a legend in Silicon Valley, is on the board of Snowflake. And apparently they were at a board meeting and Frank Slootman, Doug Leone was talking like too much. And Frank Slootman goes, the point of a board is to hire and fire a CEO. So unless you're firing me, shut the fuck up and let me talk.
Wow.
Slootman.
Big Frankie.
Big Slootman.
So that's the part of the Uber super pumped where everyone thinks the board created the company. That's how it's being like kind of.
No, I don't think it's just showing that the board does have power, which is true.
I think that in the story, they probably jumped a little too quickly from Travis really running shit and building it to the board starting to get nervous. Like, I think that process actually took years, but it looks like it took like a month.
Yeah.
And so it looks like, the board, they had control the whole time. Like it is a bad representation. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Apple, I mean, you're right. I think Apple could take over the entire world tomorrow, but they're going to get hit with antitrust. I just wonder where it ends. When do they really hit the wall of, okay, enough is enough? You can't literally own everything.
I think the problem is, and it sounds silly, but you go to Congress, every senator and congressman has an iPhone. Like, I like this company.
Yeah. They're pretty harmless.
I wonder what their lobbying spend is, right?
It's huge. They were showing like
free
big,
iPhones for every senator and House of
I mean,
Representatives.
if I was them, I'd be fucking paying everybody because you have a wide open lane, and these guys just got to not bother you.
Yeah, I mean, I would donate 10 million to every election in America.
You just find out where all these Congress people's kids go to schools and say, "Oh, free iPads for the school."
For everybody.
Man, that Tim Cook.
Yeah, that Tim Cook, great guy. Google is like already here with self-driving cars. I feel like this is like we just leapt. I didn't get any updates. I didn't get nothing, and all of a sudden, Google has self-driving cars in kind of in early action with Waymo.
Dude, this is crazy. So in San Francisco this morning, I think this was Wednesday, fully autonomous, all-electric Jaguar I-Pace with no human driver behind the wheel picked up a Waymo engineer to get their morning coffee and go to work. I mean, this was depicted in the movie of when Google announced that they were getting into potentially ride sharing. This is it. Because ride sharing as a service is a fucking commodity. It is all based on, do you have the supply of the driver?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you don't need a driver,
it's over. It's over
and it's
instantly, right? I mean,
tomorrow, because it'd be cheaper.
Yeah, because the argument that Uber people would always make about why their self-driving would work because they have all the customer data to...
These guys have maps.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
I thought that was always a stupid argument.
But Uber has cabs.
Yeah,
literally.
Uber has taxis, guys. You didn't see that?
I mean, think about it from someone that takes Uber quite a lot. This has completely eliminated small talk.
Ugh.
That's huge.
Likely more safer ride.
No cologne smell.
Ugh.
No
Shitty music
cigarette
choices.
smell. Music. It's not even I have to ask. Like, can you please put on Travis Scott station?
You know that
on.
shit connects to your Bluetooth the moment you step in.
How many
when
times...
I step in, it's just like, oh, Travis.
Hello, D.
Here you go, some Travis Scott.
And think about how many times you've had an important call to make and you just can't do it in the Uber because it's either too personal or it's something
it's
that
like I'm not gonna argue with my wife in front of the Uber driver.
So well, yes,
like I want to do that in
an
a autonomous car.
Just like Google learn about our fights.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with Google learning.
Go ahead, offer me some marriage advice on my next Google search.
Hello, D. It sounds like
That'd
you and
be
your
so
wife are
good.
disagreeing about where to eat for dinner. Here are 5 great restaurants.
Here's 5 restaurants and a subscription to BetterHelp.
And it looks like you're eating too much pasta.
Calm down, fatty.
At least the data search ads we'd get would be much better.
Yeah, they
So
should
you just
take
heard
your
us
weight
talking
when you sit in the seat of the car.
D, you look like you've gained 4 pounds since our last ride. Have you looked into your high blood pressure?
Stop taking autonomous cars and walk, fatty.
We're going to drop you off a mile before just so you can get some exercise.
I mean, it just, man, I feel like I have no clue when this is like a true reality that like there's like an Uber type service that's autonomous, but it sounds like the best thing ever. And it sounds like it's instantly, like we're saying, a killer of all. I just don't see how it goes any other way.
I mean, and especially if it's electric, so and they'll have to figure out how to price it. But like, I gotta assume I don't know if you looked at an Uber ride, how much is like depreciation, wear and tear, gasoline versus the labor costs of the driver. If a ride is $20, like how do you split it all up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you get rid of labor, because let's say this price drops like 40%.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no reason to buy a car then.
It has to be that. It has to be. Drivers have to be such a big piece of the cog.
Well, I mean, don't we know what it is? Their take rate.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the driver's responsibility is still the car, the gas, and this.
Yeah.
So if they make $10 on that ride, is 5 going to all the things I talked about? Insurance, this.
Well, what's the take rate? Do you know off the top of your head or no?
I think the driver gets, it's like a 80-20 split.
Yeah.
Driver gets 80?
Gets 80
Yeah.
Uber gets 20.
But assume there's these are electric.
It's in that range.
So electric.
It's 20.
I mean, so if you had to ask, let's just play a little game. If you had to guess a driver's profit margin on their Uber pay once they pay the bill on their car, they whatever. I mean, what do you think? It's 25% expenses?
I would say on a $10 ride after gas, after Uber's cut, depreciation of car, maintenance, insurance, they're making $3-4.
So that's how much. That's a 30% to 40% drop in the cost.
But if you take off Uber's rate, right? So just take the $10 ride. Let's say $2 of that goes to Uber. So of that $8, how much is profit? Probably half, right?
Yeah, I would say a little less than half of that 8 is profit.
So then kind of there's your answer is half of the 80% is how much you save now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
Okay.
Especially if all the cars are...
I'm telling you, if Super Pump was in charge, they wouldn't let Google steal their entire business in a matter of like 3 years.
I know. I wonder what would have happened. Like, would he have just been so insane? Because, he was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, he still may have gotten fired.
Like, he might have there's just
I think
assault happening in every office. I don't know. Like he was.
Fight Club.
It's just like literally you show up to work with fucking boxing gloves on and fight to get to your data.
I really believe if Uber at the time he got fired was, I think, 65 billion, 70 billion in the private markets. If the investors and the shareholders hadn't been so in the money, like 1,000x, 2,000x, and they wouldn't have been forcing him to get fired just to go public. Because Travis didn't want to go public. He wanted to keep building out autonomous cars. He wanted to build out all these different things. And investors were like, we just want to get out.
Yeah, but didn't Lewandowski go to jail?
Yeah, like he was doing fucked up shit.
Yeah,
like Lewandowski went to jail. He had a lawsuit from Google. Like it would have collapsed. Like could he outrun
like people were going to jail. It's pretty crazy.
Stealing secrets and fucking lying to Apple
how
to
funny is
finesse cops. Like he was fucking crazy.
How funny is how Sergey and Larry are portrayed. They're just like completely out to lunch.
I think it's kind of true.
They're just, maybe,
I think
know.
they're pretty out there.
That's
early
really
days. Maybe early days they were like really tapped in and genius, and now they're just kind of fucking.
It's just like I'm trillionaire, like whatever,
and crazy rich. I like it. I like that depiction. I hope it's true. That meeting that they have in the Google like cafeteria is just, if that's at all how they are, it's hilarious. Okay, good news for I know you guys maybe toned it down a little bit with the kids and the fam, but you guys are big travelers, and good news for international travelers. There's a bit of a battle going on. So I'd say almost like this, same way in streaming, there's a battle going on for content. So what that means for the user is endless amounts of really good high quality content. There's also a battle going on for the experience on these international flights. And so what it's causing is for airlines to just be competing and bumping up sort of the amenities and the luxury vibes of these international flights. So there's like these just absurd sort of additions happening where everyone's trying to have the nicest international seats.
Yep.
And I like it. I think we benefit in the end here.
So Singapore Airlines just announced a flight that from New York to Singapore with a stop in Frankfurt has a suite. It's a round trip, $17,000, and it has a 32-inch touchscreen, a bed, a swivel chair, and a desk. And they're 50 square feet, and there are 2 bathrooms for the 6 passengers. So,
50 square feet.
It's decent size for a plane.
That's like a New York apartment.
Yeah, literally.
But I know people are going to be like, that's insanely expensive, and it is. They're catering to the folks that would normally aren't rich enough to fly private yet, but like have a lot of money, and $17,000 is just like.
So I think it's also all corporate travelers, right?
Well, Here's the interesting thing that they in this article they said, because historically these seats were mainly bought by corporate people,
Right.
but now after the pandemic they're seeing just
GameStop
everyday
owners.
people. Yeah, the demand for the upper deck cabins are selling out before the economy seats, and these are just vacation leisure travelers. I think people are just like, fuck it, I'm rich now. I'm going to travel the way I want to travel. If you're also wealthy and you were maybe a little COVID freaked out or being around people, like giving you, even like our mom is a travel agent. And she was saying how many people are flying business just because of like, you know,
Yeah.
we're going all the way to India. Like you might as well like spend
A
the
little
money.
less likely to be coughed
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people's habits have also changed. And if you're going to spend a few $1,000s for your peace of mind and you have money, like, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think so many people fly private now that they have to have these perks.
That's why I thought business class seats would be cheaper because everyone's flying private.
No,
I
they
was
just made
thinking-
them
I was-
nicer. Made them more expensive.
As you guys know, I traveled earlier this week, just a traditional commercial airport,
Gross.
Gross.
and I was thinking,
How
because-
gross was it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was gross.
You're like, ew, this is what normal people are like? I forgot.
No, what I was thinking while I was walking through the airport was, it's almost impossible to spot a famous person because it's embarrassing if you're famous and you're flying commercial.
I still see I remember flying last year. I flew a decent amount. I saw like recognizable faces.
Because before LAX specifically, like I'd say 5 years ago, there's a decent chance that LAX. you're gonna be
Kanye's
like-
flying commercial.
I guess he's the only one.
That was for show.
Like you walk
That was
around
marketing.
and you just see like someone in like fancy sunglasses, jewelry. You're like, oh, that person's famous.
Yeah. I do think it used to be more common.
To
I also
see-
think that like it would be more common to see famous people in LAX a decade ago.
I think they're also in the private suite reserve thing.
Yeah, at the minimum, you
That's
have to do
true.
private reserve. if
So
you're
they're
famous.
doing that thing, and then they're just popping on the plane when it's about to take off. So you may not even see them.
You know what I realized there's a premium on post-COVID is just personal space.
Yes, and that's why I think people are flying. More
Yeah.
people are flying business class, and why they're selling out is if you're going to go travel. And I think the idea of just someone being on top of you on a flight, even if you have no
Yeah.
money and you're just like, it's gross. Everyone feels like it's gross. Like now when you're sitting next to someone and they're coughing, like I can't think of how many flights when the guy's blowing his nose and takes off his shoes. I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, it's disgusting now. It's just I think our awareness of it is higher, so it's more gross. That used to happen all the time. You just didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I would laugh when I was like, oh, all right, this guy's going to get the whole plane sick. And I would
Yeah.
just go back to watching Fast 7.
Yeah.
But like now I'm like, God damn it.
You ruined
had-
Fast 7 for me.
I mean, we had close friends when we traveled with them wipe down the entire seat, and we thought they were insane.
I do that now.
Well, you're insane.
Yeah. It's because
I'm kidding.
I
It's-
just,
that's actually not like hearing that now. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Why wouldn't you?
and when you wipe it down, you are going to be mortified.
That's why I never want to wipe it down. I don't want to know. I don't want to see in the
risk it.
back of a Taco Bell, and I don't want to wipe down my seat.
By the way, I had Taco Bell the other night. It's so good.
Well, go wipe down the kitchen. See what you find. Anand, how about this? We talked a lot about Axie Infinity, the game where you generate coins, and it's this really revolutionary thing that's going on. But did you see this story? Hackers have stolen over $600 million worth of crypto from the Axie Infinity network.
Do you know how much money $600 million is to be stolen?
Hackers are balling.
It's a
I
good
mean,
time to
think
be
of-
a hacker.
think
You're
about it.
literally
We're not
fucking
even talking
Ocean's
about-
11 in
We're
your
not even talking
bedroom.
about like these are the people also flying private, right? So this hacker group,
Yeah.
they're going to the Maldives, Seychelles, they're going to Dubai, they're all
Fuck yeah.
over.
Yeah.
That's scary. Web3 is scary. We've talked about it. If you're not technologically savvy, Web3 is a very scary place to be.
It is. It also feels like it's a great opportunity for like hackers and stuff like that, because in the old days, I don't know, 600 million. I don't know how you would actually steal 600 million, but if we're talking like bank robberies, we're talking art heists, we're talking high danger, physical, very risky stuff. Yeah, of course you can. There's some legal penalties here, but you can sit in your damn bedroom and get your hands on 600 million.
Yeah, I guarantee you these were kids, meaning like they were in their 20s, and they just came out with $600 million.
I wonder.
Wild.
You see, Netflix already did a show about that crypto scam couple.
Yeah.
Which one?
I didn't see it, but
it just happened. Like there's that. I think it's about this, but there's that crypto, the couple who like scammed a bunch of Bitcoin or whatever. I'll look it up. There's already a Netflix show about it, the big crypto scam.
There was also, I don't know if you guys saw this, on March 18th, a guy was getting out of his Uber in Midtown, a crypto guy, crypto expert, self-proclaimed, but 33-year-old guy walking out, shot 5 times by the robber, trying to steal his $500,000 Richard Mille.
He shot him?
Yes.
In what city?
In Manhattan.
Oh.
The pictures are insane. Everything's insane. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. That was when?
Last week.
I feel like it might be ramping up, like I always sort of relied on but they're not really shooting people. It feels like now they're shooting people. This show is Trust No One, The Hunt for the Crypto King documentary.
I think that's someone else.
I think it is. It is. But it's a documentary. When the young founder of a collapsing cryptocurrency exchange dies unexpectedly, irate investors suspect there's more to his death than meets the eye. But it's a documentary. It's a real story.
I saw the trailer for it. It looks amazing.
Yeah, I was totally wrong. It wasn't the scammers. But man, what a crazy world. Like the fact that we have like crypto scammers, 600 million gone. I mean, what are the chances these people are caught?
I think very minimal, because I would suspect they're in foreign countries, and if you're smart enough to steal $600 million via hack, you're going to be smart enough to cover your tracks.
Yeah.
Just go track Richard Mille purchases and private jet. I mean, I don't know.
Just go to fucking any private jet terminal.
Yeah, if you're under 30, and it's not an identifiable way to see how you made money to fly private, you probably stole Axie, right?
Yeah, at least for the next couple months, go check it out. Oh my god!
I mean, that's what the law enforcement should be doing.
They do.
What's the stop and frisk? They should just be stopping and frisking at Teterboro.
I think they do that in the U.S. I think it's a free for all internationally.
Yeah, for sure. I think the United States FBI has very close.
Yeah, like that. If that kid can post where every celebrity's flying on Twitter.
Yes.
So I think in the U.S. they can.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this dude is flying private a lot. Oh, wonder how he got his money.
There's
He's
rumor
a really
going
good
on.
Axie player.
Yeah. There's a rumor going on that Tiger is going to play the Masters, and somebody posted a photo of his private jet
tail number.
But on the map actually showed it leaving Florida and going to Augusta. Yeah.
Oh wow. Is that this weekend?
Didn't he play a practice round on Tuesday?
He did. Yep.
So Augusta is this weekend?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm new here.
Augusta's the 7th and 8th weekend, whenever that is. So is that next week?
That's next weekend, yeah.
April 7th through 10th.
Who's winning? Scotty Schleifer?
Scotty Schleifer. I don't know. John Rahm is like the guy.
I hadn't even heard of Scotty. I can't even pronounce his name. But
it's Scotty.
He's the number one guy in the world. I've never even heard of this guy.
Well, that's because he just won the Dell
John
match
Hamm.
play.
Who was the other guy? Said
John Hamm. Yeah, John Hamm's been killing it. Justin Timberlake. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the funny thing about golf to me is like there's like the number one player in the world, and then there's like essentially like all-star weekend every weekend because every star is playing each other, and then like there's no consistency. Like other than when Tiger, it sounds like, and I'm sure a couple other people have done it, but like it sounds like Tiger's run, it was before my time, but was like pretty monumental for the sake of how much he was just dominant. But like nobody really dominates. Like every weekend, it's a complete crapshoot of who wins.
Mickelson's still banned, right? because of the Saudi comments?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Lefty.
He hasn't been playing. Lefty.
What's interesting is talking about wealth. I got just like some random email list up from some private charter company. Book a private plane to go to the Masters. Make sure your unforgettable weekend is even more unforgettable. So whatever, they're selling packages, private jet packages to go to Augusta, and then they say this doesn't even include the ticket. It's just like the jet, like the amount of money that's going to this for the weekend is insane, because I can't imagine how many people going to Augusta are flying private and making it like a whole thing.
Majority.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of display of wealth going on, like I'm sure you guys all saw Formula One's going to be in Vegas in 2023.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine what room prices are going to be.
But it's in Miami this year.
Yeah, that too.
That's
going to be
nuts.
absurd.
Because you know why? You can have a boat in Miami. So that makes it...
You can watch the
and
race
Miami's
from the
just a
boat.
city where you're supposed to show off. Like, it's going to be bananas.
Bananas.
There's a lot of display of wealth is what I was getting at.
Well, I got another display of wealth for you. 4.4 million Americans quit their jobs last month.
Check their Axie accounts.
For real. Each and every one of them. Because 600 million is plenty to go around. I mean, I didn't realize. Here's what I thought. If you would have asked me and I was just going by my best guess, I would say the Great Resignation is over. And actually, we're probably at a record number of people getting jobs and sort of dealing with like the heartbreak of finally having to get a job. It's all over. Things have changed. I couldn't.
Job openings in the United States stood at 11.3 million in February, still near the all-time high of December 2021. So there are plenty of jobs for those that want them. People are still quitting. I did read an interesting article about they profiled 3 or 4 people that quit their job last year, and they all regretted it because I think they like lack their structure in their life, and you know, it's at the end of the day, like even if you're like a gig worker, it is tough because you're relying on your next gig. Mm-hmm. So if you're an independent graphic artist, you're an independent digital marketer, you're waiting on your next client always, right? And there's such ups and downs in that process. I thought that was quite interesting. And then apparently junior Goldman Sachs bankers are revolting on the idea of coming back to the office.
Interesting.
Man. Yeah.
I wonder if they get any like runway with that. Like, do you think?
I think in a company like Goldman Sachs, these junior bankers know that they're needed. They're in high demand, and they're like of the banking institutions, the best of the best. So I think they're trying to push it and see, like, I'm sure there's plenty of people that would take their jobs, but are you willing to have the reputation of that non-flexibility and this very, limited worker environment?
Let's see how much propinquity really matters, huh?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's also what's really scary is, people are split on whether a recession's coming. You could talk to 10 different people, you'll get 10 different views.
Yep.
If a recession comes, I hope it doesn't because it affects everyone, but it largely affects middle class and lower class people. Mm-hmm. Like you go from being able to buy groceries to not be able to buy groceries. Mm-hmm. And the person going to Formula One Miami in their private jet, it does not affect them whatsoever. If they go from being worth 500 million or 400 million, they don't give a fuck.
Yep.
And I think it's just going to get really scary if a recession actually hits.
Here's my question. For as long as I can remember even being old enough to pay attention, every presidential candidate in their running has said, we're going to create more jobs. We're going to bring jobs back to America. Are you telling me that now the new normal is we don't want them? Keep them.
Yeah. The next presidential election would be like, I'm taking away jobs.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to work. Neither do I.
All these stupid jobs just floating around. Get rid of them. I mean,
no new jobs.
Yes. No new jobs. No new. Yeah, I know.
No one wants to work.
Fuck it, man. Let's get in on that Axie Infinity money and get a PJ down to Miami.
How are these people paying for shit? Crypto's down, stock market's down, And
You
if
steal. You want $600 million? You know the fastest way to get it? Steal it from some stupid ass game.
Yeah. You want 100?
It's obviously, look at how easy it was. They just jacked $600 million.
That's such a staggering number.
It's not like they stole like. It's not like the Twilio idiots we were talking about the last episode that did insider trading and made $1 million and they're splitting it 7 ways. This is 600.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are broke. And look, lower level, you want 100 grand. I'm sure there's one hanging out the window of a Porsche down on Beverly. You just go rip it off.
I mean, those kids got $5 million, right? The jewelry store.
Yeah.
No new job.
If you're not a millionaire, it's actually embarrassing.
I will
Everyone's
not.
a millionaire.
I will not make one American work.
No.
If you post a job, you're fined in my country.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they legalized smash and grabs? Like they're effectively legal now.
I will make it illegal to post a job.
If you can get away for minimum 1 hour, you get to keep whatever you steal. That should be the rule.
I said insider trading, the first $1 million should be free. Free.
That's fair. I think you could run. I think you just created a whole platform here. No job. First $1 million free on insider trading. You get 1 hour for a smash and grab.
Yeah.
You're elected.
First 100 grand on smash and grabs, tax free.
Yep. And jail. Empty them out.
You have to
close them
pay.
up.
You have to pay your normal tax gains on above 100,000 on
Yeah.
the smash and grab.
Yeah. That's the deal.
Yeah. You
That's
gotta
fair.
pay short-term capital gains. 50%.
And you have an hour. Yeah, we only have an hour though. After an hour,
Yeah.
we started arresting people.
Yeah, exactly.
No, before an hour, you get arrested. If you can break out,
Yep.
run away for 1 hour, at the 61st minute,
We lock the first
short-term
person up.
capital gains. 100,000 tax free.
You lock up one of your friends. Hour and a half, someone else is going. All right.
All right, Cathy's. First of all, I want to thank all of you that purchased Lo Siento Tequila, sent us pictures, tagged us in it. Some of you bought a lot.
A lot of drinkers.
I hope it's for a large group of people, a birthday party. But thank you so much for supporting the brand. You know, we're very excited about what we're doing at Lo Siento, the brand, the product. I know a lot of you hit me up for that margarita recipe. If you purchase it and you want the recipe, DM me. I'll send it to you myself. We're also going to post it on our social media handles. Go check that out. But remember, Lo Siento Tequila is sustainably farmed, family-owned and operated distillery, 100% pure agave. No bullshit. None of these additives that people and other brands are putting. This is the cleanest stuff out there. It is available also online at losientotequila.com, 39 states, and here locally in LA. If you go online and purchase it, use the code GroupChat20 and get 25% off. That's GroupChat20 at 25% off. This must be created by Pete, because then the code should be GroupChat25. But for some reason, it's GroupChat20 for 25% off. What in the flying fuck is that?
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
It does not make sense. But don't worry, the tequila is fantastic. If you're a margarita person, get the Blanco and I'll shoot you that recipe. If you just love an awesome reposado on the rocks, that is my drink. That is what my go-to is. The brand is about being unapologetically yourself. Enjoy, drink responsibly, and of course, 21 and over only. losientotequila.com. And for some reason, use the code GroupChat20 for 25% off.
It's like a surprise. At the end, you're like, oh, I thought I was getting 20%.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you're 25.
unnecessarily are pretending you're getting a less of a discount.
Yeah.
Back into the episode.
Okay, last but not least, I teased it in the intro, and I think it's very important that before we head off into our weekend, we talk about Caitlyn Jenner's newest job. And I gotta say, I think because I've been paying a little bit of attention as of late, I'm not surprised, but normally I would be surprised. She has a new gig in the media space, and she's done a lot of reality TV in the past, had a long run with E! So if anyone wants to take a second, all of our listeners, maybe just think about what Caitlyn Jenner's new media gig could be, I'll tell you. She is now going to be a contributor and commentator for Fox News. Caitlyn.
It's pretty surprising to me because
They're
I
not
don't,
very
I don't know if it's
progressive.
going to work because the Fox News listener isn't too kind to the LGBTQ community.
Maybe they will drive younger people that are.
I think here's the technique. Like, it's sort of like if you, let's just say that for the sake of this conversation, we're talking about the viewer that doesn't agree with trans people. But if
Right.
you get a trans person saying that like the swimmer issue is ridiculous and that this, you get a like, yeah, like, see, like it makes you double down on the other side because you're like, see, this trans person, like, I'm not crazy. I'm not anti-trans. I love Caitlyn.
Yeah, it's similar to, I guess, Candace Owen shitting on
Yeah.
black people repeatedly.
Yeah,
And-
it's like, see, I'm not racist. I love Candace Owens.
Yeah.
You know, like I think there's a strategy there that makes you go harder on the opposition.
Yeah, I agree.
You
Maybe
know, I
it'll
feel like it might work. I feel like it's kind of like the Fox or the, let's just say that crowd. It's a strategy that seems to work. And I think she's going to crush it. And I think the same way that 3 years ago, you guys told me I should go full MAGA and start a podcast and I just lean into my Ohio roots.
Yeah.
I think Caitlyn is carving out a niche here that she's going to be a star.
I think we would have been on Spotify similar to Rogan if you had gone down that route.
Yeah, we were just
I agree.
arguing like.
Yeah.
We should just all go ultra conservative.
Might as well. It's worth a shot. It's going to work for Caitlyn. I mean, because I think that when you go on there and you say, hey, look, I'm transgender, but even I think that this UPenn swimmer is ridiculous, or
control.
even I
Yeah.
think that, I think you rally people and you become, I don't know. I think it's going to work. I
Yeah,
think it's
like
going to be
if
huge.
Caitlyn goes on and says, "I don't think this should be talked about in schools." Like if she says that,
Don't say gay.
Oh, yeah.
that'll be posted by every single conservative person.
And you know she will. I mean, Candace
Yeah.
Owens, like, look,
You
I think
gotta
everyone,
imagine this came with strings attached. They didn't give her the gig
Oh,
if she
it
was
came
going
with-
to be.
a check and a list of opinions.
Yeah.
Said these are yours now.
Both the check and the opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think Candace Owens, like, it's pretty clear. You can kind of see where she's like, she makes a lot of her own points, but she also just picks up a lot of the just right wing talking points.
Yeah.
And she's just she just makes their points. It's like literally like you signed up, you got an email that morning and it said, hey, today we're talking about don't say gay in Florida. And you're like, all right, got it.
And where do I pick up my check?
Yeah. And my check would be, well, all right, got it.
It's
Check, don't say
strategic
gay,
for the
done.
it's strategic for the right
Okay.
wing. It's gonna work if
Yeah.
she goes down that route.
Yeah, I think it will. Plus, the reason why I said it didn't surprise me is because I didn't realize how, like, she had already spoken out about the UPenn swimmer. She had already spoken out about a lot of this stuff. So she's lined up to perfectly be that person.
Yep.
Okay. Well, they got themselves a new star. All right. Winners, losers, content. Anand's out of here. D, who's your winner?
I'm going with the Indians.
Like the Cleveland ones?
No, the people.
Oh, my
Um,
people.
Yeah, your people. So FedEx just named a new CEO, Raj Subramaniam.
Ah, Raj. You guys are
Replace it-
just CEO material. Huh? What do they teach you over there?
You know, we're the model minority. People just love us.
I mean, do they just fucking put, there's a CEO in the water over there? What the hell?
What's crazy is I just put this on Twitter. There's a likelihood chance an Indian kid will be a Fortune 500 CEO before they make it to the Olympics.
Yeah, for sure. For
Like,
sure.
Basically, there's like one dude in the Olympics
Yeah.
or one woman, and there's like 100 CEOs.
Yeah, it's true. It's literally the opposite of like kids these days where, you know, their goals are to become, let's say, a YouTuber, a TikToker, then maybe an athlete,
Yeah.
and no one's really thinking about CEO. Complete opposite for the Indian crowd.
I mean, the list of CEOs that are Indian, and not just like born in America Indian, like from India, and then they're
Yeah.
American CEOs. It's kind of mind-boggling because I mean, even just thinking about it, like even just thinking about it from my father's standpoint, he obviously different generation than a lot of these folks, but like their cultural differences of growing up in India, growing up in America, the office politics, like just navigating that as an immigrant and then becoming the CEO of like these massive $1 trillion companies in some cases, it's kind of fascinating. I don't even know how they do it, because it's like, is it just like we're gonna just keep working hard, be quiet, and next thing you know, I'm the CEO?
Yeah. Next thing you know, now it's time to speak up. You're CEO of Microsoft. I'm curious. I would love to see like a timeline of those people's lives, because you're right. Like the jump is so big. Like if you looked at my timeline, it'd be like nothing but skateboarding and bullshitting for 18 years, right? It'd be like, oh, somehow ended up on TV show. This is weird. 10 years.
Yeah.
Start clothing line. Like there's literally has to be like these massive jumps.
Yeah.
To make that much progress from where you came from
Yeah.
to ending up in that level.
I was talking to a friend who's an investor, and I was referring him to someone that's Indian kid that's raising money, and I was like, oh, do they fall under like underrepresented founder? And he goes, absolutely not. Indians are white people, and as far as investing is concerned.
Yeah.
Because like it's pretty wild. Like it's a very impressive, because if you think about, even just if you take the Asian cohort of people, like just think about like what prominent Asian CEOs are there outside of Indian. They're just not many.
Yeah.
And then this is just ridiculous. The whole list of like some of the biggest companies in the world is just one ethnic group.
Yeah. It's so wild.
Yeah.
I totally understand. Like white dude, your dad was an executive. You worked your way, you went to the school where dad went. But like to jump from growing up in India to being, it's not like you're the CEO of fucking Bob's Big Boy around the corner. Like you're the CEO of a company that takes so long to even be up for the job, no matter how smart you are.
Yeah, because a lot of these companies, in most cases, like Fred Smith, who started FedEx, is being replaced. The first CEO ever is being replaced.
Yeah.
The founder is being replaced by Raj Subramanian.
By Raj. Hey, here's a tip to all executive or all corporate employees. Look out for the Raj.
Yeah, Raj is coming for your
Treat Raj
job.
nice, because he's going to be on top soon.
And what's interesting is we kind of expected it in technology with the Googles and the Microsoft. Then it became like Gap, Chanel, Pepsi, FedEx. Did this guy start as a FedEx driver? Like, I mean, just like, it's wild.
If I'm FedEx, I'm walking in there. I'm saying, okay, let's get all the Indians together. I'm picking one because Google knows something we don't.
I think that's literally what's happening now. Is just like, fuck it. Let's take the safe bet. We know Wall Street's cool with Indians. Just give the Indian the job.
That's amazing.
If I ever hear an Indian person claiming like, I don't know, like any challenges in the workplace because of race, it's not true.
Yeah. That's, oh man, there's a lot of proof, I guess, the other way.
Yeah.
Okay,
who's your winner?
You know who my winner is? I'm gonna stick on Will Smith category because still holy shit. But Andrew Schultz, the comedian, I guess you can agree or disagree with his jokes, and I guess I should probably give a disclaimer that I'm not condoning them or whatever. But the guy like started the episode of his last podcast by just roasting Will and Jada, and that clip is going viral. And the thing about Andrew was like during COVID, he he made these quick little short snippet comedy videos that ended up on Netflix. And he's just so good at understanding how to take the momentum of something going on, use his skill set being comedy, and use the internet to just make it go viral. And like, it's just this viral, like literally the roast of Will and Jada for 5 minutes. That's so ridiculous. And he did it, he came up off of,
that's
some
crazy.
craziness.
Yeah.
So props to Andrew.
I saved the clip because I saw everyone's posting it.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's definitely, he went really hard, but like, like you just said, everyone's posting it. Like, it's like I haven't really seen. I've seen obviously a million takes. I don't think I've seen one that is like as reposted as much as his.
Yeah.
And he did it. He rode the back of the wave and he made his own viral clip.
Yeah.
So props
I
to him.
mean, that's crazy.
Who's your loser?
You know, I think the whole kind of internet has been taken over by this Will Smith and Chris Rock incident.
Yeah.
And my loser are people that like, okay, so Zoe Kravitz said something to the effect of like, Will Smith was in the wrong. Like, what are you doing? Then the internet went and found a clip where Zoe Kravitz was hanging out with a then teenage Jaden Smith and like, oh, Zoe did this. Then they go and found someone else that criticized Will and Jada and found a pic clip of that person saying something about someone else. And so it's never ending. And then they post another clip of Chris Rock going after Will Smith. I mean, I was like, are you joking? We're just going to go down this rabbit hole forever?
Yeah.
Like, this is a singular incident that happened that is one person's fault. We cannot keep blaming, because now the problem is like this whole alopecia thing is like become like disease number one. And I think
the next pandemic.
and I think like that was such a very specific issue that happened between two people that got out of hand. It does not need to be involved. People like even Jim Carrey made a comment that he should be arrested. And they said when Jim Carrey was on the set of this movie, he did this to this young woman. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. It's so dumb. The internet is so stupid.
It's so stupid. And every morning it's like 14 celebrities that commented on the situation and everything they've ever done wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's the only thing that sucks is like the internet. There's such good about it, and you get these funny clips and you get all this stuff. But damn it, the people of the internet are they just can ruin anything. I feel like it used to be like 5 years ago, like maybe 10, maybe 8. Like the internet is going to make any situation that happens in the real world better. Because like something crazy is going to happen and then you're going to instantly check the internet. You're going to have memes. You're going to have takes. You're going to have, wow, I love the internet. And now it just has turned into like this like cancel-y, search out every nook and cranny, jump to conclusions. This image means this. It's like, no, a guy slapped a guy. That's it.
That's it. There's nothing
That's
else
what
to
happened.
it. Yeah, people want to read into like, oh, this happened because Chris Rock is against people with alopecia. No, he's an entertainer.
He's been on a rage against alopecia for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yep, I agree. And I think my loser on that note is I feel like a really big loser here that's definitely getting some press, but maybe not enough is the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, the fact that, so I don't care for the sake of not getting, being the next person on the internet, but I don't care for the sake of this, who you think was right or wrong. The point is a person physically assaulted another person at your thing and you just allowed it to happen. There was no security anywhere in sight. You allowed Will and Chris presumably to stay in the building. You allowed Will to then receive an award and get up and get a standing ovation. And it was like in the world of the Oscars, there's no repercussions for physical violence. And that's not how it works in normal people's lives. If you get the wrong order at Olive Garden and stand up and smack the server, you're out of there. If you walk up to your boss at a job or a coworker, smack them, you're out. Yeah. And in this weird world of the Oscars, this absurd smack was able to happen. And the guy walks back to his seat. There's a clip now circulating on the internet where it's a clip of from behind Will and Jada.
I saw
when
that,
Will's and Jada's laughing at the joke when Chris said, "Oh my God, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me." Jada does like a laugh, like as if he's like, "No, we're doing a show. Great punchline." And like, what? It just is the most absurd break from reality I've ever seen. And I just feel like, man, the Oscars, even though I don't give a shit about all this fancy pants bullshit, like, the Oscars have a responsibility to keep some level of sanity. And to let that happen and then just the show keep going, I just felt like it was a really bad.
Well, yeah, that's what we talked about last Sunday, was just like the hypocrisy of Hollywood that will tell anyone to do anything, but can't rule their own.
Yeah. It's just the same way. If I had a friend who had a business and I heard another employee smacked another employee and he didn't make either of them leave, I'd be like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you doing to not have any, like, there's no rule. Like, there's no laws. There's just like, yeah, I don't know. Will Smith does whatever he wants. Chris Rock, he'll be fine. Tyler Perry's got it handled.
Chris Rock started his tour in Boston.
I saw that.
He basically doesn't address it. And because he's like, I will address it at some point, but I have this material that I'm doing, and that's what I'm doing. But he started it with like, how was your weekend?
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how he's gonna do it.
You know what's so funny is I had like 15 minutes the other day in the morning, and I just threw on an old Chris Rock special.
Yeah.
Because Netflix obviously knows everyone's looking for shit.
Yeah.
So I just watch it. It's so funny.
It's so funny. I feel like he could single-handedly ruin Will's career.
I think if he goes out and does another tour about that, like, and
I feel like he could roast him in a way that would just turn, it's the same way when 50 Cent made Ja Rule whack. Like, he could just make Will Smith look lame.
I don't think he will, though. I
don't either.
I think he's got, like, even just the way he hasn't commented on the situation really, and he's just kind of moving on.
I'm sure it feels for him.
Yeah.
They've known each other for so long. I don't know what level of friends they are, but they've worked together for a long time. I'm sure. I mean, he was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air like decades
30 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure you have to kind of feel for the guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Any content recommendations?
Yeah. So I'm on the kick of watching all these iconic founders. They have Travis with Super Pumped.
Yep.
And Uber.
Get a real lesson in real business education.
The one I started that I got through an episode was with Jennifer Lawrence, who plays Elizabeth Holmes on Hulu.
I didn't start that yet. Yeah,
I'm
excited for that.
I mean, it just makes a difference when you have like an incredible actress or actor. Yep. Jennifer Lawrence is fucking insane. She's so good.
Do you think Super Pumped without Joseph Gordon-Levitt and a better actor?
Yeah, I think he's just the wrong personality for that. Or they made him play this like corny guy.
Yeah.
Which maybe, maybe that's not his fault at the end of the day. It's like whoever produced it. Yeah. But dude, this story is like, especially here's an Indian shown in a bad light, is the Indian in Theranos.
Oh yeah.
Wow. I didn't know how they met. They met when she was like fucking 18 years old in Beijing studying abroad.
You guys got to get rid of that guy.
Yeah, and he's like,
you guys are doing too well to have that representation out there.
I saw that. I was like, dude, this guy's a sicko.
Yeah, you got to lock him up.
Yeah.
Indians are winning way too much to have that guy running around.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Those Indian CEOs need to get together and
make that guy disappear. Yeah, I got to watch it. I'm excited to watch that one. I've obviously seen the documentary, read the book, but that's the final piece of the puzzle.
Yep.
Okay, so founder content is your content.
Yeah, I'd watch all of it. It's fascinating. All of it's insane.
Yeah.
It's just the most insane shit.
Well, I guess mine is the same. Mine is in the same vein, being that I just last night started the WeWork show finally. And it blows my mind. It's really good.
It's so good.
It's really good. But it once again shows what like a good actor and a good whatever can do, because that Israeli accent is so good.
It's so good.
He plays him so well. And I'm blanking on the woman's name, but that plays his wife.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. Incredible. Like, them as a duo is so good. And from what I read...
when you're comparing it from Super Pumped, what do you think?
I mean, it's such a night and day difference. I would say, like, I mean, keep in mind, I've watched one episode, but let's say WeWork is like, I don't know, a 9 out of 10 depiction of that type of story. I think Uber is a 5.
Yeah, I agree.
It's decent enough. It could get you pumped up if you're like a entrepreneur bro, and you're like, yeah, fucking super pumped.
Super pumped.
But it does. I don't feel like the WeWork, as far as I can tell from the book and all the stories, like it seems pretty accurate.
Yeah.
It's really good though. I'm excited to keep going. That's my content.
Okay.
Founders are hot right now.
Founders are really hot, but like depicted in a very poor way.
Yeah, you're right, because really all three of them were, quote unquote failures.
Yeah, because like I'm trying to think like what's a inspiring founder story of recent age?
Brian Armstrong.
I mean, but there's no movie on him.
It's just really boring. It's just a guy working hard.
Yeah.
An inspiring, like crazy story. It was like a huge company.
Like, I was trying to think, is there a founder story that's a movie that's truly positive? It really feels like these founder stories are usually fucking negative.
Yeah, they are. Because even the founder, it was technically.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, this guy's a shark.
Yeah.
Social Network, Steve Jobs movie. What's another big company that was started?
The Founder was one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what other big movies were there with like.
Do you think that it's just not cool? Like it's not cool to just show them being a great guy and having a great time? Like there's no movie there?
Well, no, I think I think it's more of that, like to reach this level of greatness, you would have had to shove some people along the way to get there. Yeah, exactly. I think that's really what the story is, not so much that, the intention is to show these people in a bad light. I think obviously those people think the intention is to show them in a bad light, but like my guess is this is the real story. This shit's hard. And these people have to do whatever it takes to, you're talking the movies and stories we're talking about are like the greatest businesses ever, right? Like Apple and McDonald's and
Don't you feel like at the time Social Network was pretty positive? Like I feel like the lens which we view it now is a little different, but don't you feel like at the time everyone was like, damn, Zucks, he did it. He beat the jocks.
So but I think it also feels like he was some vengeful nerd that he didn't have a social life, that he did this and then he was out to get I don't know, like the scene where the Eduardo scene, that was pretty harsh.
Yeah, he fucked Eduardo. Yeah, you're right. There's no way around that, really. Yeah. Okay. Well, I agree. I mean, but I guess you need a little bit of drama to make it entertaining.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So I'll take it. Fuck it. Fuck all this nice guy stuff.
All right, everyone. We have 2 shout outs. We can't forget April 7th, first live show back at the Melrose location for Sweet Flower. We thought it was going to be in Culver City. We're actually going to be at the Melrose location. Even better, we only have spots for 50 people. Head over to our social media. It'll be the link in bio. There'll also be a post, and all the details will be there. It's for only 50 spots. You don't want to miss this. 7 p.m., April 7th, Melrose location of Sweet Flower. And don't forget, Coachella is coming up. And if you don't have your ticket yet, we're going to give a shout out to our man Pfaff, a Run Club friend of ours, who launched a mobile app called Fest Friends. That's FEST Friends. And it is a marketplace for music festival tickets. They have weekend 1, weekend 2 tickets. It's all through the marketplace. Think of it for StockX and GOAT for Coachella tickets. And because you are a group chat listeners, you can use the code GRPCHT and you get $10 off when buying a ticket. Currently going for less than face value.
Coachella.
Yes, under $400. And if you want to go check them out on social media, at festfriends.app. This is a good friend of ours, so you can trust these are all real, authentic tickets. So go check it out and let us know how the experience is. Under Face is awesome.
Under Face is shocking because isn't it supposed to be Roaring 20s?
No, it's not.
Okay, that's it. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Have an incredible weekend. It's going to be 90 degrees here next week. And at the same time, my mom just sent me a photo of it covered in snow in Ohio.
What?
So depending on where you live, Enjoy yourself. Bye-bye.